Long before Rome rose and Athens debated, a slender strip of land along the eastern Mediterranean gave birth to a people who would chart the course of civilization, not through conquest, but through connection. These were the Phoenicians. Welcome to the first episode of Forgotten Navigators. 1200 BCE period, commonly known as the Iron Age, is when most historians say the Phoenicians started emerging as a maritime culture made up of independent city-states along the eastern Mediterranean. This includes the cities of Tyre, Sidon, Byblus, and Arwad. But some scholars suggest that their origins can be traced back to the earlier Canaanite culture. Regardless, after the collapse of the Bronze Age, which saw the downfall of powerful civilizations like the Mycenaeans, the Hittites, and the Egyptians, the Canaanite culture had collapsed too. From its ashes rose the Phoenicians. They lived in an area that's now Lebanon, northern Israel, and western Syria, a region nestled between towering mountains and the sea. They didn't have much land to farm and few natural defenses, but they had two things in abundance: cedar forests and ingenuity. Now, thanks to their location along the Mediterranean, they quickly realized that their lifeline wasn't the land, but the sea. So they built ships, not just boats or vessels, but floating lifelines. Their ships were big, bold, and beautiful, with curved hulls and towering sails that billowed in the wind. And these ships became the arteries of the ancient world, carrying precious cargo and cultural exchange across the Mediterranean. But what did they actually trade? The Phoenicians traded many goods, including cedar wood, glass, textiles, and above all else, Tyrian purple, one of the rarest dyes known to the ancient world. This deep purple hue was extracted from thousands upon thousands of sea snails found along the rocky coast of the Mediterranean. Each snail contained a small amount of purple pigment, so the process of creating enough dye for a single garment required an astonishing amount of labor. As a result, Tyrian purple was extremely expensive and was reserved exclusively for the wealthy and powerful. Kings and queens, pharaohs and emperors all sought to adorn themselves in its regal embrace. The Phoenicians were masters of the sea, but they weren't conquerors. Instead, they built networks. They established colonies from Cyprus to Crete, Malta to Sicily, Carthage to Cadiz, and many other places, stitching together the ancient world through maritime trade. Their ships were the first to venture beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the ancient name for the Strait of Gibraltar, sailing into the Atlantic Ocean and possibly reaching as far as the coast of Britain to trade for tin and the gold mines of West Africa. Along their travels, they charted the seas, kept meticulous records, and created maps that helped future explorers navigate the Mediterranean and beyond. While their maritime prowess was unmatched, the Phoenicians' greatest gift to humanity was perhaps their alphabet. Around the 15th century BCE, they developed one of the earliest phonetic alphabets, a revolutionary way of writing that consisted of 22 characters, each representing a sound. This system was vastly different from the more complex pictographic systems used by the Egyptians and Mesopotamians, such as cuneiform. Their alphabet was simple, efficient, and easy to learn, making literacy more accessible and allowing for the quick recording of spoken language. It spread like wildfire, influencing the Greeks, who added vowels to the Phoenician alphabet, eventually leading to the development of the Greek and later the Latin alphabet, which became the foundation for many modern alphabets, including English, Spanish, French, and German. But perhaps most remarkably, the Phoenicians were diplomats. In a time when the region was often torn by conflict, they managed to maintain peaceful relations with the ancient Israelites. Instead of waging war, they traded, intermarried, and collaborated with their neighbors, proving that peaceful coexistence was possible even in the most tumultuous of times. King Hiram of Tyre, a contemporary of King Solomon, famously supplied cedar wood and skilled craftsmen to help build Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. Their centuries-long friendship demonstrates that the Phoenicians preferred cooperation to conflict. Unfortunately, as the centuries passed, the Phoenician city-states, though culturally similar, were often at odds with each other. This made them vulnerable to the ambitions of rising powers like the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persians, who forced them to pay tribute or face destruction. Despite their contributions to world history, the Phoenicians were ultimately overshadowed by the Greeks and then the Romans. Their colonies, however, continued to thrive, particularly Carthage, which became a major power in the Western Mediterranean, until its destruction by Rome in 146 BCE during the Punic Wars. With Carthage's fall, the last great Phoenician beacon was extinguished. Today, few remember their sacrifice, yet their legacy lives on. Every time we write something down, we use an alphabet that echoes their genius. Every time we buy something online or travel overseas, we follow in their footsteps. Their gift of global trade and cultural exchange continues to shape our modern world. From the bustling markets of Dubai to the vibrant bazaars of Istanbul. From the elegant boutiques of Paris to the towering skyscrapers of New York, the spirit of Phoenician enterprise thrives. The Phoenicians may have vanished from history books, but their fingerprints are everywhere, in our maps, our languages, our very way of life. The Phoenicians remind us that even the quietest revolutions can echo through time, changing the world in ways we can scarcely imagine. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please subscribe for more adventures in history. See you next time.